you can count on us. This is 7 News Good Morning Fort Sill.
Well, good morning and welcome to another edition of Good Morning Fort Sill.
Yeah, we're back to a work day after yesterday's National Federal Holiday. Yep. And Ulysses, take a look at the weather. I mean, yesterday we were at this time, we were mid-70s. Today, back in the low 60s. A little more like it, I think.
Absolutely, guys. It's definitely much comfortable out there. You know, we've been clearing up on our skies. So yesterday we had a cloudy day across the area, a few showers here and there. But now we're enjoying mostly clear skies. We've even overnight, if you were out, say around 1 o'clock in the morning, you actually saw the moon beginning to rise. We're dealing with the last quarter moon right now. 61 degrees currently at Fort Sill, 14 degrees cooler than was this time yesterday. It was 75 at this time yesterday. The sunrise 7:39, and like I mentioned yesterday briefly, tonight will be the last sunset at 7 o'clock for this year. The next time we'll see a sunset at 7 o'clock will actually be springing forward on March 8th next year. So looking at your PT forecast for today, we'll be in the lower 60s here as we go through the next few hours and eventually start warming things up already into the middle to upper 60s by 9 a.m. As we look at the almanac from yesterday, definitely with the cloud cover, we kept our temperatures down, 77 degrees for that high. That low temperature though, 65 degrees. And that was more so as we made our way now during the late evening hours as conditions began to clear out. We saw those temperatures begin to fall. Looking at our Ashley Home Store Tower Cam and Burke Burnett, it looks like a little bit of the raindrops actually cleared out a little bit of the webbing there we've had recently. And as we look at the day plan throughout today, we'll have mostly sunny skies by this afternoon. Temperatures warming up into the upper 80s.
Congress remains deadlocked over a funding agreement as the government shutdown enters its second week.
Even though uniformed service members are being paid through alternate means, roughly 1.4 million other federal employees have been furloughed or are working without pay, according to a bipartisan policy review, Senate review. Sill Hubbard has more on what both sides are saying.
When the Senate returns Tuesday, it will mark day 14 of the government shutdown. And in a video that's airing at several airports in America, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem slams Democrats for it.
Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government.
Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson also blaming Democrats for not helping pass Republicans' short-term spending bill.
We're barreling toward one of the longest shutdowns in American history unless Democrats drop their partisan demands and pass a clean, no-strings-attached budget to reopen the government and pay our federal workers.
Meanwhile, Democrats are pushing to extend enhanced Affordable Health Care Act subsidies to keep health care costs from skyrocketing. Some constituents are urging Democrats to hold the line.
We need them to stand strong because this is important to our families, and they're standing up for families right now, and that's very important. We also need them to get the health care costs lowered.
Meanwhile, more than 4,000 federal employees were recently given layoff notices amid the ongoing impasse, the Trump administration revealed in a court filing. The president making it clear that he sees the shutdown as an opportunity to shrink the size of the federal government.
We're ending some programs that we never wanted.
A move that opponents say is illegal.
It does not have the legal right to do a reduction in force during a shutdown.
Top House leaders signaled Sunday that there is virtually no appetite for their parties to cross the aisle and engage with the other side's demands. I'm Sill Hubbard reporting.
Thanks, Sill. Now, earlier this week, President Trump announced that the Pentagon will be reallocating funds from research and development in order to pay military service members this week.
That's right. However, the U.S. Coast Guard falls under the control of the Department of Homeland Security and is not able to access those funds. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem has announced that guardsmen will now be able to be paid tomorrow. Noem posted on X saying, quote, President Trump did not want any of our military to go without pay as a result of the Democrats' political theater, and we at DHS worked out an innovative solution to make sure that didn't happen.
Noem added, thanks to President Trump's leadership and the One Big Beautiful Bill, the brave men and women of the U.S. Coast Guard will not miss a paycheck this week as they continue to carry out their critical homeland security and military missions. Now, this is kind of interesting. I mean, this is something you talked about, right? Worried about the Coast Guard. Now,
Correct.
At least they're going to get paid this time. The concern becomes hey, does this stretch another couple of weeks?
Well,
then what happens at that point?
I mean, at this point in time, they're really just moving money around to pay service service members, which is good for service members, but that doesn't solve the fact that all of those federal employees are still going unpaid, and there's still some uncertainty if this continues to move along, which it doesn't look like there's any end in sight. Well, moving on to other news, the Association of the United States Army is holding their 22nd annual meeting and exposition in Washington, D.C. this week. The event is the largest annual land warfare exposition in North America and features more than 780 exhibits, panels, and guest speakers.
Now, some of the highlights include a warfighter and family forum on permanent change of station moves, transforming the Army's integrated air and missile defense systems, as well as countering unmanned aerial systems and campus-style dining. The AUSA meeting runs through tomorrow. And Army Secretary Dan Driscoll announced major changes coming to Army purchasing, repairs, and technological adoption during his keynote speech yesterday.
The heated address accused construction contractors of corruption and stressed that lives of soldiers were on the line. Among coming changes is a new system that will combine Army equipment purchasing entities under a single organization, reporting directly to Army leadership and dramatically reducing the 12 to 18-month contract cycle.
Now, Driscoll also called out the Army for its reliance on outdated equipment and paying manufacturer prices when current technology can produce the same result for much cheaper.
And just a reminder that as part of Domestic Violence Prevention Month, Fort Sill MWR is hosting their annual Domestic Violence Prevention Run tomorrow night at the Patriot Club. It kicks off at 6:30 p.m. There will be a 5K run, a 5K ruck, and a 1-mile walk.
$35 will get you a limited edition t-shirt, bib, and medal. However, the run itself is free and open to the public. You can register online at sill.armymwr.com or in person at the Welcome Center. And on Thursday, USO Oklahoma will be hosting their annual Fall Festival from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m.
There will be a chili bar, trunk-or-treat games, and crafts, fire trucks, police cars, and more. It's free and open to all active duty service members and their families. And Fort Sill MWR is ringing in the Halloween holiday with a trunk-or-treat event this weekend. The event will take place Saturday night from 5 to 7 at the Youth Center. There'll be plenty of games, candy, a bounce house, and crafts for all the little ghosts and ghouls out there. For more info, you can call the number on your screen or visit the Fort Sill Family MWR page on Facebook. Meanwhile, Shepherd Air Force Base, Verdon College in Wichita Falls is hosting an open house with resources tailored to the military community. It's happening from 8 this morning until 6 this evening. Visitors can go on guided tours, visit with the VA office, meet with financial aid experts, and take any needed placement tests. For more information, you can contact the Shepherd Air Force Base Military and Family Readiness Center on Facebook. The Texas National Guard has replaced some of the 200 troops that were deployed in Chicago after they failed to meet Army standards. We'll have more details and news from around the forces after the break.
7 News, working for you every night at 5 and 6. When the workday is wrapping up and you're ready to start your evening, get your news first. The first look at what's happening in your community.
First responders in Jefferson County worked to extinguish a semi-truck fire.
Your first look at weather approaching Texoma.
We're just going to see dry conditions, mostly sunny skies.
And your first glimpse of impacts for your day ahead.
A new scholarship program is coming to Oklahoma State.
You can even watch on the 7 News app from wherever you are.
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Don't wait to see the news that affects you. Know first with 7 News at 4 p.m. When you want to plan or predict or know right now, you want the local app that does everything. The KSWO 7 News app, where the news and weather you need come to you all in one app. Every evening, 7 News, working for you every night at 10. This 7 News broadcast is sponsored by Southwest Buick GMC. Here's your first alert forecast with meteorologist Ulysses Garcia.
Welcome back, everyone. And right now here across Texoma, things are quiet. The cloud cover pretty much has broken apart for the most part. Maybe we still deal with some clouds at least this morning, but definitely for the most part partly cloudy at least, and then we'll improve to mostly sunny. A lot of the activity when it comes to that rain has now pushed off towards the north over into parts of the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma, and even pushing into Kansas now when it comes to all that rain. Our Jackson County Memorial Hospital Tower Cam Altus, not really much happening here. Definitely a better view than we were 24 hours ago, where it was just really gloomy and dreary out there. Looking at the temperatures currently, though, we're into the 60s, 61 degrees in Lawton, 66 in Duncan, 65 at the Falls, 63 in Frederick and Vernon, 64 at Altus, 64 in Elk City, 62 in Paducah. But the setup here, though, for the most part, though, we're actually going to start seeing that upper level high kind of push off towards the north, and that's going to bring us that drier, that warmer weather along with more drier conditions. Also, when it comes to that front, like I mentioned yesterday, it didn't really make our way into its area. It's going to start retreating back off towards the north. Now, for today, though, we'll start off with maybe just a few clouds, like I mentioned previously, and then we'll have a lot more sunshine this afternoon. Clear skies as we go into tonight. Sunny galore as we go into your Wednesday, and then by Thursday, we'll start introducing a bit of clouds into the area, and that's kind of just a little bit of a precursor eventually of the front that will be arriving as we go into your Friday night and early Saturday. For your morning PT forecast, lower 60s here throughout most of the morning hours, and then eventually start warming things up. For today, we'll make our way up to 87 degrees, mostly sunny and warmer southeast wind at 5 to 15 miles an hour.
Well, the Texas National Guard has sent some of the 200 troops that were deployed to defend federal assets in Chicago. They've sent them home after they were found out to be not in compliance with Army standards.
So Texas National Guard officials did not provide exactly what standards the group of soldiers did not meet. The change came after a photo circulated online last week of Texas soldiers arriving in Illinois, and they appear to be larger than the height and weight standards for the service.
Now, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth pledged to enforce military fitness standards during a meeting with senior military leaders last month. About 100 troops remain in this city.
Well, senior Navy officials and lawmakers gathered at the Naval Submarine Base in Groton, Connecticut to commission the USS Iowa, the Navy's latest Virginia-class attack submarine.
So the newest addition to the fleet comes after the decommissioning of the USS Helena earlier this year. The Iowa is the 24th Virginia-class sub to enter Navy service. The 7,800-ton Virginia class is designed to remain submerged. Get this, for 3 months, Kyle. What do you think?
That's wild.
That is long. So moving through the water at 25 knots with 4 torpedo tubes and 12 vertical launching Tomahawk cruise missiles.
That thing is huge.
Yeah. That and man, 3 months underwater. I don't know.
Well, let's say military history. On this day in 1890, Dwight D. Eisenhower was born in Denison, Texas.
So the nation's 34th president had a decorated military career. It all started when he entered to the U.S. Military Academy at West Point after high school, eventually graduated in 1915. During World War I, Eisenhower was promoted to captain and received the Distinguished Service Medal. By the time World War II rolled around, Eisenhower had been bumped up to a brigadier general. He was promoted to Major General in 1942 and named commander of the U.S. troops in Europe.
Eisenhower's climb continued to the rank of general as he directed numerous invasions, including Normandy on D-Day. He returned to the U.S. as a 5-star general. He retired from the Army in 1952 and began campaigning for president.
Now, Eisenhower was elected to the Oval Office in November of 1952. He served for 8 years, overseeing the admission of Alaska and Hawaii as the 49th and 50th states, respectively. He founded the U.S. Information Agency and NASA. In 1957, he signed the Civil Rights Act.
Eisenhower passed away in March of 1969 at the age of 78. Well, still ahead, more information is coming to light about an explosion at a military munitions plant in Tennessee. We'll bring you the latest details after this break.
KSWO and the Lawton Fort Sill community want to thank our service members and their families for their service and sacrifice. We are extremely proud of your courage, dedication, and daily commitment to protecting our freedoms. To recent graduates and their extended families, congratulations on your accomplishment and welcome to our community. Lawton Fort Sill is a unique area like no other in the country. With our strong working relationship with our armed forces, thank you for everything you do for us. 7 News, working for you every night at 5 and 6. When the workday is wrapping up and you're ready to start your evening, get your news first. The first look at what's happening in your community.
First responders in Jefferson County worked to extinguish a semi-truck fire.
Your first look at weather approaching Texoma.
We're just going to see dry conditions, mostly sunny skies.
And your first glimpse of impacts for your day ahead.
A new scholarship program is coming to Oklahoma State.
You can even watch on the 7 News app from wherever you are.
Right now I'm here at 2nd and Up.
Don't wait to see the news that affects you. Know first with 7 News at 4 p.m. When you want to plan or predict or know right now, you want the local app that does everything. The KSWO 7 News app, where the news and weather you need come to you all in one app. Every evening, 7 News, working for you every night at 10.
Taking a look at national military news. So a traveling memorial honoring those lost during the global war on terror has made its way to Florida.
Yeah, Takevian Goss explains why it means so much to those who served.
A traveling global war on terror wall of remembrance is honoring the brave men and women who lost their lives to terrorism, whether they were civilians, law enforcement, first responders, or military. Veterans say they believe it's important to never forget who paved the way for the future.
We now have a new generation of veterans, and we want people to remember them. We want people to remember the war. It was a 20-year war, the longest one in history, and a lot of people sacrificed everything for our country.
Alex Butler is the event coordinator who brought the Wall of Remembrance to VFW Post 2185 in Panama City. She says it didn't take long for her to learn about the global war on terror.
I deployed when I was 18 years old. I deployed 2 days after the Benghazi attacks to Southwest Asia, and I really learned exactly what the global war on terror was.
Like many, Butler shares a personal connection to the names on the wall.
So the reason I brought this here is a guy named Eric Soufrine. I knew him before I joined the military. He joined the Army, and he passed away 6 days before I left for basic training.
The wall bears over 10,000 names, all with different stories on how they made their mark on this country and in the lives of loved ones. And there's one special portion of the wall dedicated to the ones who may have made it home but lost the war.
Down here at the end, where the 22 a day people are. Master Sergeant Jared Cooley and Staff Sergeant AJ Beck. Ammo troop and a firefighter, and they lost their battle with suicide. So although they may not have been killed in action, they lost the war at home. So that's why we're here.
The names on this wall may have fallen, but their stories continue to live on.
An active duty airman was found dead at F.E. Warren Air Force Base in Wyoming last week. This is the 4th death involving an airman from the base since mid-July.
Investigators have not identified the deceased in accordance with DoD policy to notify next of kin first. The Air Force Office of Special Investigations is investigating the death. According to a news release, the base insists there is no known threat to the community. Well, the U.S. Coast Guard teamed up with first responders from Falmouth, Massachusetts to conduct a water rescue yesterday afternoon. Crews responded to a person trapped at sea.
Now, the Guard was called in due to poor visibility and rough seas due to the recent nor'easter storm on the East Coast. A helicopter crew located the victim and successfully deployed a rescue swimmer to retrieve them. The victim was then hoisted aboard the helicopter and taken to a medical facility where the condition was considered non-life-threatening.
Members of the Alaska National Guard are stepping in to help their community in the wake of Typhoon Halong.
The National Guard is coordinating with more than 50 organizations and companies to help people who were impacted. The Adjutant General for the Alaska National Guard, Major General Torrance Sachs, says that this could be the Guard's largest off-road response in more than 45 years. And investigators continue to search for answers in the aftermath of a military plant explosion in Tennessee. All 16 people inside the facility have been confirmed dead.
The cause of Friday's explosion is still under investigation, but authorities caution answers may not come for weeks or even months due to undetonated explosives that pose a serious threat to first responders and investigators. Debris from the explosion has been found as far as 2 miles away.
The Accurate Energetic Systems Company produces munitions for the military, including grenades, bombs, and shells. Commercially, they produce explosives for use in underwater blasting, mining, and avalanche control.
AES also processes the powerful plastic explosive C4. The Army often uses it for clearing obstacles, breaching buildings, and creating craters in roads and runways to stop enemy troop movement.
The facility faced safety issues back in 2019 when they were fined by the Department of Labor for allegedly failing to protect workers from exposures to hazardous chemicals. Well, the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency estimates that there are over 80,000 missing U.S. service members from past conflicts.
Each time one of those service members is brought home, communities across America pay their respects to honor their service and sacrifice. Today, we have a story from a Gray affiliate in Ohio about a World War II vet who was finally laid to rest in his hometown. Here's Noel Williams.
A 21-gun salute is given to service members that have made the ultimate sacrifice. After nearly 8 decades, Platoon Sergeant Harold Weaver, a Cuyahoga Falls native and World War II Marine, finally received his proper tribute.
Because it reminds us of the sacrifice that Harold made.
On May 4th, 1945, Weaver lost his life during a Japanese counterattack in Okinawa. In 2016, the Japanese government returned remains to the U.S., but Weaver was not identified until 2023. He was finally laid to rest at Oakwood Cemetery in Cuyahoga Falls and buried next to his parents. He was honored by crowds, including service members and his family. Some he never got the chance to meet, like his great-great-nephew, Aiden Berger. Berger is also now a Marine.
I'm overwhelmed just being here.
Weaver's remains were identified by the Defense Prisoner of War Missing in Action Accounting Agency with the help of DNA analysis.
We leave no man left behind.
Lewis Ballard is with the Rolling Thunder chapter of Ohio and also a Vietnam veteran. He and his organization members made sure to pay their respects to Weaver and his family.
Now they know what really happened. They know the sacrifice he made, and they know he's not laying somewhere in a foreign land.
A tribute for a man who made the ultimate sacrifice.
Here's your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Ulysses Garcia.
And right now, looking at our Comanche Nation Entertainment Tower Cam at Medicine Park Aquarium, overall, we're dealing with mostly clear skies, partly cloudy out there. It's going to be a beautiful sunrise this morning across the region. And looking at those temperatures currently, though, much more comfortable. 61 degrees in Lawton, 63 in Frederick, 62 in Hobart, 64 in Elk City. A little bit milder over towards Duncan at 66 degrees. And as we make our way south of the river, we're dealing with temperatures still into the 60s. We're dealing with 63 degrees over towards the Falls and even into Bowie. We're also dealing with temperatures into the lower 60s off towards the west, 62 in Paducah, 63 in Quanah, but really not much happening here. Here's that front that we were talking about. It's going to start retreating back as a warm front off towards the north, so that's why the rain showers have kind of drifted a little bit more off towards the northwest since yesterday, and that's why our conditions have been able to clear. So we could deal with some clouds this morning and more sunshine throughout the afternoon, but for the most part, we're expecting a rather tranquil day. Clear skies tonight, lots of sunshine for your Wednesday, and then by Thursday, we'll see a few clouds roll in ahead of our next system that arrives Friday night into early Saturday. For your PT forecast at Fort Sill, lower 60s here, and then we'll start warming up into the mid to upper 60s by 9 a.m. 87 degrees for today, warmer, mostly sunny. For tonight, we'll drop down to 58 degrees, a clear and cooler night ahead with a southeast wind at 0 to 10. And over the next 7 days, we're going to keep it above average here. We're going to see those temperatures kind of going back and forth at night between the 50s and the 60s.
Thanks for watching. Good morning, Fort Sill.